All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to find out if your worst day ever even comes close to what some people went through back in the day.
Shanmati, I'm serious. I can't do this. This history chapter is an absolute beast. My brain has turned into oatmeal, and I think I'm starting to see sounds. This is, hands down, the worst thing that has ever happened to anyone. Ever.
The worst thing? Are you for real? Bro, look at this. These are coal miners in Bihar, back in 1948. Their job was so dangerous that over 2,000 of them died every single year. That's like an entire school just gone. So yeah, tell me more about your epic struggle with a textbook.
Okay, fine. You're right. You win. I know. So let's just rewind, okay? Back to a time before everything got so cringe. Let's talk about how these tribal groups were just living, totally vibing, before the British showed up and wrecked everything.
And you got to understand, this wasn't just one big group of people doing the same thing. You had Jum cultivators, hunter-gatherers, animal herders, settled cultivators. They had whole different ways of life. Wait, hold on. Jum? What? You can't just drop a word like that and expect me to know what it is.
Oh, it's actually super smart. It's like the ultimate sustainable life hack. They clear a little patch of the forest, grow their crops, and then, here's the key part, they'd leave it alone for years so the forest could heal and grow back. Their whole life was connected to the forest.
Whoa, look at them. They just belong there. No buffering Wi-Fi, no homework giving them an existential crisis, just them and the land. They were totally self-sufficient. I literally need a 5-minute video to figure out how to boil an egg.
And this wasn't some tiny, isolated community. Look at this map. The Santhals, the Gans, the Beals, the Mundas, these were huge, distinct groups all over the place, each with their own culture and their own rules.
But then, the outsiders came. And the vibe didn't just shift, it completely imploded.
Dikus. So basically, they were the people who show up to your party, unplug the speakers, and start asking why the house is so messy. The ultimate vibe killers. Yep, pretty much. It started with traders and moneylenders, but the biggest dickus of all, the British.
And the first thing they did was go for the leaders. The tribal chiefs used to run everything. They had their own police, their own rules, they were the respected leaders. But the British came in and totally nerfed them. Suddenly, they lost all their real power. They had to follow British laws and basically just became puppets who had to collect taxes for them.
Wait, Wyatt? They just declared the forests state property? So you're telling me someone can just walk into your home, your literal home, and say, actually, this is mine now. You can still live here, I guess, but you have to follow my rules and pay me rent. That's like gatekeeping an entire forest from the people who live in it? That's exactly what it was.
And it was devastating. Just listen to this. It's a song from one of the Baiga people. It says, "In this land of the English, how hard it is to live. To pay forest tax, we have to sell buffalo. To pay land tax, we have to sell bullocks." They were literally being forced to sell everything they had just to exist.
And if that wasn't bad enough, the way they were exploited economically was completely next level. Okay, you have to hear about the silk trade scam.
So get this. The Santhal growers in a place called Hazaribagh would spend all this time and energy raising silk cocoons. For 1,000 of them, they'd get paid about 3 to 4 rupees.
Then, the traders, the middlemen, would buy them and sell them somewhere else for 5 times the price.
No way, that's actually unhinged. That's a total scam. The people who did all the actual work got basically nothing, while the middlemen who just transported them made a massive profit. It's like modern-day ticket scalpers, but for their entire livelihood.
Exactly. But, you know, when things get this bad, a hero often logs on. Oh, please tell me the main character is about to enter the chat. Let's go.
Oh, you know it. His name was Birsa Munda. This guy had serious main character energy. He was from the Munda tribe, and people started saying he had miraculous powers, like he could cure diseases and make grain multiply. He straight up declared that God had sent him to save his people from the Dikus. He was so charismatic, he even got other tribes like the Santals of the Oriens to join his movement.
And he didn't just wing it, he had a whole plan. First, reform. Get his people to give up stuff like drinking and superstition and clean up their villages. Second, revolt. Kick out all the outsiders, missionaries, moneylenders, the British, all of them. And third, reclaim. Create a new Munda kingdom with him in charge. Slay. You have to respect the vision. That's a boss move.
And here's the wild part. Birsa Munda wasn't an anomaly. His fight was just one part of this huge, ongoing resistance. Look at this timeline.
The Coles rebelled in 1831, the Santhals in 1855, the Basta Rebellion in 1910, the Warlis in 1940. For over 100 years, tribes all over India were fighting back. This was a movement.
Wow. So this wasn't just about one guy. It was a massive, century-long fight. Exactly. And that's why this piece of history honestly slaps.
Right. It was never just about taxes or land. They were fighting for their entire way of life, their culture, their dignity, their freedom. You got it. And even though a lot of these rebellions were put down, they were some of the very first people to stand up and fight for justice on such a large scale. They lit the spark.
Okay, I get it. So next time my Wi-Fi is a bit slow, I'll try to remember the people who had their entire world taken from them. Perspective. Good. Now, are you going to finish this chapter, or are we both failing this test? Ugh, fine. But you're explaining the next one. Deal?